Hey everyone, welcome back to a brand new course in codedamn's full stack, backend, frontend, whatever learning path you are watching, which is writing secure web apps. And I have to say, this is probably one of the best courses you would find in this learning path, which will teach you about the application of web security and how to write secure apps, how to never get hacked again. Hopefully, we'll follow a few strong principles. We'll build up a checklist of a few things which you always have to make sure, which will help you never get hacked again. This is probably one of my favorite courses in this learning path also because it is very practical. It allows you to think critically, logically. It allows you to think as an attacker and as a developer at the same time. And it's super fun. So let's get started with this little video in which I'll just give you a brief about what web security is, why it matters, and how to get started. So first things first, web security is hard. You will see billions of dollars, even, trillions of dollars of companies getting hacked with different services on different endpoints. And most companies have Facebook, Google, Apple, Amazon. These companies have their own white hat programs, which means that these companies open doors to basically everyone to help them fix security vulnerabilities in their websites. Seeing it by that logic, it becomes obvious that when you're working on a product which is built by a lot of developers, or it is fairly complicated, it becomes hard to manage web security part. It becomes hard to just make sure that everything is patched. It's not impossible, it's just hard, because as you use and install packages, install third-party dependencies, you introduce code which you have not written, which might not be just built on practices which we'll follow in this course, and hacks happen. A lot of times you will see a package going rogue, something breaking, something which was not supposed to be hacked getting hacked, the author going crazy or something. So it's very hard to maintain a secure application if you don't follow a certain set of principles, a certain set of rules. The other important thing is that a lot of people just ignore web security altogether. They focus on building app, getting the first version out, getting this, getting that, and that is all fine. But the moment you have data from users, the moment you're storing sensitive data, usernames, passwords, credit card information, anything, it becomes extremely important to consider web security as a very important flow of your product pipeline. Web security is an important thing. You should not ignore it. You should not ignore this course, this whole thing in this full stack learning path, because this might be probably the end of your company or your product if you get hacked and if your data gets leaked, which is what we discuss in this next slide, which says why should you know web security? Because it's just a matter of time. If you have a weak application, if you have an application which does not handle user input properly, does not sanitize things, is just has loose endpoints, it's just a matter of time when someone would exploit your service, when someone could hack your data, and that's the end of your product, or that's the end of your startup or company. A lot of data is extremely sensitive. That means that you absolutely cannot afford to lose or store users' password in plain text, lose the credit card information, lose those sort of things which matters to users, and you are supposed to take care of that. And even if if you lose that data can be exploited across multiple other sites or other services. For example, people use passwords. Usually they share or use same passwords across multiple sites. If you get hacked, then not only you are just basically exposing your users on your service, but potentially on other services as well. So you have to be careful around storing data, which we'll also discuss in this course. And you have to avoid the kind of attacks where you never detect that the attack has happened, right? That's the worst kind of thing, where the attacker is still anonymous in your system. They're exploring things. They're just extracting out data slowly and steadily, and you don't even know what's happening. So we'll know how to prevent that. You will know what kind of things we can use to, monitor systems and so on in this course. So I'm super excited for that part as well. Things we'll discuss in this course, we'll start with front-end web security and potential attacks. We'll move on to back-end web security, which is more interesting in terms of web security. We'll know how to harden your code base, because your code is the attack vector. It's the 100% attack surface which attackers use to get into your systems. We'll also have interactive codedamn labs where you have to hack the service. So it's going to be interesting. You will have to bypass codedamn's own protection mechanisms, and we'll have those labs. You'll find them in the course, in the interactive course on the right side. So don't worry about that. And finally, we'll also cover a few CTFs for additional practice. So CTF stands for capture the flag. It's like a competition where you have to hack a remote service to get a specific piece of string. Let's go. This is going to be an interesting, big, and important course for all of you guys who are trying to become great full stack developers, great developers in general. And I'm excited to start this course with you. And that is all for this video. I'm going to see you in the next one really soon.